Hello, welcome to another episode of Jim's Allotment Garden. Okay, so all about seeds now. What I wanted to do is basically just explain what sort of seeds I'm going to be using this year, where I've had them from, and I've got a few new makes here that I've used, or a few new brands, should I say, that I've used before. But I just wanted to go through just to give you. I haven't got all the seeds yet. I still need to go out and buy a few more. But I just want to explain some of the ones I've got already. So if you're thinking of getting some seeds, then obviously it'll give you a good idea. Now the first one I just wanted to mention was I've bought a load of these, which is basically country value. I don't know if you can see that, but I bought a whole raft of these seeds. Now these are very reasonably priced seeds, compared to others, and I've been recommended these by a few people to say that they are really good. So basically, just to explain, I'm going to be putting in this. I think there's about 10 different packs here from Country Valley. So I'll just explain what I've got. The first one's a squash, and this is a winter butternut squash. Now they can go outside in May. You can sow indoors from March basically. But I'm not going to sow these quite yet because these are something else that grow quite quickly, and obviously because I've not got a heated greenhouse, I don't want to grow these too early. And as I say, they can sort of grow quite quickly, so I don't want to be in the sort of game where I've got massive plants growing and I can't put them outside because of the weather. But anyway, squash, winter butternut, butterfly F1 is one of the butternut squashes I'm going to be growing this year. I'm going to grow some pumpkins again. These are called Big Macs. I'm hoping these are going to be big. I've been trying to grow big pumpkins for a couple of years now and failed miserably. But this is one that's supposed to be. Again, these are sown out in March to May, and plant out in May. Obviously, basically the same as the squashes. And these are supposed to grow quite big. So fingers crossed, I'll get some nice big pumpkins this year. Beetroot again. Now, things with the beetroot, I'm going to grow these slightly differently to how I've grown them in the past. As you know, I always grow these out in rows. I put the seeds straight out in the garden, into the ground. What I'm going to do with these is actually grow them in little seed, what do you call them, the little sort of plant pot things about that big. And I'm going to grow them inside till they're reasonably established, and I'm going to plant them out one by one. I'm just going to see how they grow like that. I'm going to do a bit of an experiment. I'm going to grow some like I normally do, and I'm going to grow some in sort of little pots as well, just to see the difference. But that's one that's called beetroot bolt hardy. So I'm assuming that these ones don't bolt. But so that's another one from the Country Value range. We're going to do some more courgettes, the usual ones that I grow. These are goldener. Those are the yellow ones. I typically grow yellow courgettes. I think they look nicer on the plate, to be honest with you. No different from the green, they just colour. So again, they go out in May in exactly the same way as the other ones. Obviously frost, in exactly the same way as the comment about the sunflowers and the beans. I'm also going to grow some swede again this year. Now, just like the beetroot, I'm going to be growing these inside like I did last year in the little pots, and then I'll be putting these out. So you can again sow these outside from May to July. But what I'm going to be doing is growing these inside, probably mid-May. I'm going to put these in. The one thing I find with swedes is I'm always really good at growing them, but they never grow particularly big. Now, there are people I know that grow sort of Swedes that are kind of, you know, sort of 8 inches across. But mine only ever grow to sort of, I don't know, about 4 or 5 inches. And I don't know why. They're always nice, you know. I mean, you don't want too much Swede anyway. I mean, I always find that sort of one that big will do us anyway for a meal. But I just want to try and grow them a bit bigger than I normally do. So I'm going to be growing them in the pots like I did last year again. Next one is spinach beet. Obviously, this is always a big winner for us. I do like spinach; it's my favourite vegetable. This is also from Country Value, and this is just perpetual spinach. There's a number of makes that do this. I'm going to be growing the Country Value. I'm also going to be growing the one that I grew last year, which came from Wilco's. So I'm going to be growing that as well, so I need to get to Wilco's and grab some more seeds. I'm also going to be growing some chard. I'm not going to do the rainbow one this year. I'm going to do this, which is the more standard one. Chard's really nice. You can eat the stalks, or you can eat the leaves, obviously, or both. We typically eat, in the UK, we typically eat the leaves, like spinach. In France, they typically eat the stalks themselves. So, but I like to sort of chop it all up together and eat the lot, to be honest with you. But again, that can be sown outside from April to July. So these are a little bit more frost resistant than others. But so I'm going to be growing some of those. Parsnips always. This is Hollow Crown. Hollow Crown. These are from Country Value again. So I always grow 3 varieties of parsnip. So this is going to be one of the 3 that I grow this year. And the sweet corn I've also bought from Country Value. I didn't have a massive success with sweet corn last year, but this one's called Incredible F1, so I'm hoping it is incredible. But anyway, I've got 2 packages of them, so I've got plenty to go from. I had a problem germinating these last year, so I'm hoping that the weather's a bit more sort of friendly. But you don't get many seeds in the packet. There's only I noticed there's only what does it say? 25 seeds in the packet. Well, I don't suppose you need too many, but so those are all of the Country Value seeds. So they're going to be one of the experiments for this year. I've not grown Country Value seeds in the past. Not to my knowledge anyway. I might have had 1 or 2. Okay, so we've also got some seed from Frenchie as well, and I'm going to be growing these leeks, and these are Poro, I believe. I think that's the make anyway, or the variety. So these come from Frenchie. Now, Frenchie seeds come highly recommended by me. Last year I grew their sweet corn. In previous years I've grown, well, quite a few different things. I've grown their pumpkins before. I've grown their beans before. French beans. I've also grown their squashes and things like that. And I also got, I'm pretty sure I got the birdhouse gourd seeds from Frenchie. But anyway, they're always really good. They're pretty good value for money, and they're also, you know, they all germinate really well and grow really strong. They are really good quality seed, and you get loads of seeds in every packet. I mean, I don't know how many seeds there are in here, but there are literally hundreds and hundreds of seeds in each packet. You can feel how many seeds there are. But anyway, Frenchie seeds always come highly recommended by me, so if you can get these are really good quality. So those are the leeks I'm going to grow. Also, there's quite a few from Thompson and Morgan. Obviously, these are the staple, really, most certainly in the UK. But I'm going to be growing the Rainbow F1 hybrid carrots. Now, with carrots, really, they're really cheap to buy in the shop, and to be honest with you, you know, the carrots that you can buy in the shop are also really good quality. You know, I mean, you can buy a couple of kilos of carrots for about £1 or something like that. So, carrots are one of them crops that, you know, really, you know, there's a whole raft of problems you can have with carrots. You know, they can, you know, as they grow, just like parsnips, you know, they can fork. They can, you know, you can have like a really good carrot and it's actually that long. You know, they are reasonably difficult to grow, and you need to get the soil right. You need sort of sandy soil with no stones in it at all, and almost no sort of no muck or anything like that, you know, because that'll encourage them to fork as well. And also you've got the carrot root fly, and to be honest with you, with carrots, if you've got the right soil to grow them, then it's good. I haven't got the right soil. My soil's a bit too heavy for carrots. So carrots are typically the one that falls to the bottom of the pile every time, and because I grow so many different varieties of stuff, I typically run out of room before I get the carrots in. But I have been recommended by a few people to grow them in the greenhouse amongst the tomatoes, so what I will do is I might give that a go this year, so I might grow some of the in the greenhouse. But anyway, I'll be growing them, and I'll also be growing the small sweet ones as well, the short ones. But carrots, Swede, this is called the Brora, I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it. These are the Swedes. These are from Morgan and Thomas, recommended by the Royal Horticultural Society. So, and apparently they're a favourite in the kitchen. So I'm going to give them a go. So I've got those, and I've also got the Country Value Swede as well. So I'm going to be growing a couple of varieties then. Again with the Swede, I'm going to be growing them in small pots and then transplanting them into the garden, and also growing them as a row. Pretty much like I did with the parsnips last year. But those are the Swedes. Swedes always grow well in the garden, but to be honest with you, you know, as I said earlier, I don't typically get big ones. I get lots of little ones. I don't typically get you know, sort of, you know, really big ones. Tomato. This is a new variety. That, you know, for me anyway. This is called Rainbow Blend F1 Hybrid by Thompson and Morgan. And obviously, I'm going to be growing the normal Moneymaker and the other one which escapes me. But I'm definitely going to be growing them. I'm also going to be growing the little cherry tomatoes as well, and I'm also going to be growing some more of those blight resistant ones outside as well this year. I'm going to grow some more of them in pots out the front here. So that's one of the tomatoes I'm going to grow this year. Calabrese or green broccoli. This is called Bellstar F1 Hybrid from Thompson and Morgan. So I'm going to grow a couple of varieties of this year, I think. But that's most certainly one of them. And spring onions as well. I didn't get around to growing spring onions last year, but or did I? I can't remember now. No, I did. I grew some last year there, yeah. But they didn't grow very well. So I'm going to be growing some spring onions again this year. I might actually grow these as well in the greenhouse. I'm possibly going to have a go sort of growing them between the tomatoes. But anyway. Spring tomatoes, this is white, Lisbon, Thompson and Morgan again, and I've got some things that have come through the post from some very kind people. The first kind people are Tina and Jason Reeves from Allotment Upcycling. Thank you very much, Tina and Jason. They've sent me through the ochre, and these are these little lemon flavoured tubers that you put in the ground, basically. So I'm going to be growing them this year. First time I've ever grown these, and I've never, to be honest with you, I hadn't heard of these until last year. So I'm quite excited to grow these, and I'm going to be growing these in this border here, just outside the greenhouse, because I can load that up with lots of muck and get all that really nice. And I'm right by the water, so I can give these top priority treatment. The reason I'm growing them here is, as Tina explained, and also on UK We Grow explained, these things kind of flop all over the place and sort of take over. So I don't want to grow these in the open ground. I'm going to grow these in this where I normally grow the carrots. Reason being, if they want to flop over and go all over the place, then they're going to be on the path and up against the greenhouse as opposed to flopping over everything else. So, and I'm concerned about growing these up against like the potatoes and that, because it might stop the airflow around the potatoes, and which will cause blight or make the conditions for blight a bit worse, or better for blight. So I'm going to be growing these in the top here. So this border here, all I've got in there at the moment is some chives at this top end there. So I want to transfer the chives from there over to the other herb bed over here, or possibly that one of them anyway. And then as soon as I've transferred that over, I'm going to dig all that over, put loads of muck, loads of good stuff in there, build all that up, and get that. I might have put some wood chip in there as well, just to bulk it up a bit. Get the height of the ground a little bit higher than it is now. Plenty of moisture holding, lots of straw, lots of chicken muck, and all that kind of stuff in there. And I'm going to plant these in there, and then basically water them religiously every night and basically watch them grow. So I'm going to be putting those in this year. Thank you, Tina and Jason, very much for these. And also, the next kind person is Richard Sydenham, and he's very kindly sent me through all the way from Germany. He sent me through some kale, 2 types of kale, and basically he's put me some instructions as well how to grow it, so that's all good. But obviously I've grown kale a lot before. So the first one is Scottish kale. Now this is Scottish kale is basically the standard kale that we get, you know, the sort of the curly kale. Sorry, not the curly kale. Yes, the curly kale. So that's I think I've grown something similar to that, if that's not the same. But obviously these come all the way from Germany. So I'm not exactly sure of what the variety is. Obviously it's Scottish kale, but that's basically a reasonably standard name for sort of bog standard kale. So I'm going to be growing some of those. Also there's this Potrages, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, kale, and these are quite big actually. He actually explains in the letter that basically each plant is 2 foot. Basically you need to leave them 2 foot square each plant because they're quite big. I look on the internet for that, and I've actually seen the plants. The plants are really big. The leaves are sort of quite big like that. So quite obviously in Germany they're quite big on things like cabbage and you know, brassicas and stuff like kales and stuff like that. So you know, a lot more so than we are in the UK. So obviously sauerkraut and stuff like that's made from what do you call them, kohlrabi. And so I'm definitely going to give these a go. So thank you very much indeed, Richard. They're most certainly going to go in to the new tunnel. They're going to have the pleasure of christening the tunnel for me as well. So they're going to go in there. Also in the tunnel, obviously, I'm going to have the purple sprouting broccoli and also the calabrese, the green sprouting broccoli. So they're going to go in the first tunnel. The far tunnel, I'm not quite sure what's going to go in yet, but more likely than not it's going to be the other sort of brassica type things like the perpetual spinach and stuff like that. That tends to grow better in a tunnel than in the open ground. Last year I grew it in the open ground and it wasn't that good. And I think it's down to moisture, because when it's in the tunnel the wind doesn't dry the ground out as much, and I think there's slightly less light in there as well, and I think the perpetual spinach quite enjoys that environment. So that's just some of them. There's going to be plenty more. Obviously there's going to be flowers, there's going to be you know, there's a whole raft of flowers. Obviously we've got the Nicandra, we've got the black hollyhocks to go out. You know, when we've got all the other bits and bobs to go out that are in here already. There's going to be the obviously the hydrangeas and all the other plants to put out as well. So there's going to be flowers as well, but obviously it's going to be predominantly vegetables. But yeah, I'm really pleased with the seeds that I've got so far. Obviously, you know, I need to get a few more. But what I'll do is, that's just basically the first batch. I have got some more and I need to get a few more as well. So I need to be going down to Wilco's and getting some from there. And I also need to go down to the garden centre and get a few different seeds. But as soon as I've got the rest of them, I'll do another quick session to explain what I'm going to be growing this year. If there's anything that you think that you've seen that you know, that's possibly a new crop that I could grow, please do drop me a comment below. Or if there's anything that any comments on anything that I've suggested today that I'm going to grow this year, also put a comment below and I'll get back to you, and I'll explain more in the coming episodes of what's going to be growing this year. But so far that's part one of what's going to be growing this year. So whilst the water's retreated a little bit, what I'll do is I'll just quickly take you around the allotment, and it's not overly windy. So obviously in the greenhouse, as I say that, the wind picks up. Obviously we've got the hydrangeas and stuff here. They're just starting to shoot now. I don't know if you can see that in there, but we're just starting to get some little buds coming through. So obviously the buds are right at the end as well. So I'm not going to cut these back at all. What I'm going to do is just I gave them a bit of water yesterday, so they are, you know, they have been watered. There's little shoots coming out the bottom as well. But these are going to be transplanted out into the garden this year. Obviously those are the ones I took from cuttings last year. Obviously got the lavender here growing. I've just been watering these. This time of year, you know, you just want to water these every week or so, just a little bit, just to keep them moist. Obviously you don't want to water them because they're not growing as such, but you know, you don't want to let them dry out. Obviously we've got the Nicandra and the other bits and bobs here. These are the hollyhocks, the black hollyhocks. These are just growing through now. Plenty of weed in there as well. But I've left the weed in because that's holding the moisture in as well, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, those are the basically what's in the greenhouse at the moment. I've got a load more of these metal trays over the last couple of weeks from my my other greenhouse. So what I'll do is I'll put them all the way along here. But at the moment, these sitting on the ground in the board is actually keeping them moist. So you know that's the best place for them. But as time goes on, what I'll do is I'll put these metal trays all the way along here to put them on. But as we do, so there's not a lot going on out here. But I'll just quickly show you what's going on. Right, so we've got the hollyhocks. These are the white ones. They're starting to come through. I don't know if this one's going to come through this year or not, but there's no signs of life from that one yet. This one's got a few bits on there. That one's got a few bits. So I've got 3 white ones come through so far. This one here and this one seems reasonably dead. So what I might do is dig that out and put some of the black ones in there. This is the comfrey. That's already starting to come through. And this one here, that's the other type. This is the lemon balm. That's started to come through now. The actual mint hasn't started to come through as such. There's just a few little sprigs coming, but it is early days yet. This is actually lemon balm again here. This is catmint, so that is starting to come through. The thyme is growing steadily. Obviously that all got cut down a bit. And I've got some mint coming up at the back there. The rosemary is as rosemary is, you know, that's obviously a perennial plant, so that's not going to be too much bother. I've got a buddleia growing through the path here, so what I might do is actually fetch that out if I can. I might pull one of these slabs up and take that out because I don't like to waste a plant. That's oregano again there. Sorry, that was oregano, sorry. I think I called it thyme, but that's oregano, so that's growing alright. This is thyme here. Yeah, that's thyme. So that looking a bit scraggy, but hopefully that'll pull through the winter. In this border here, this is where the ocker's going to be planted. This is obviously where I grew the carrots last year. That's the chives there, look, along there. So I need to fetch them out and shift them over. The comfrey needs to be cut down. Obviously I left that, I didn't sort of cut it back at the end of the year. I just tied it back with a bit of rope because I wanted the goodness to go back into the plant. So obviously that's established itself at the moment. So what I can do now is cut all that back when I get a bit of dry weather, and I can pull that back. Now all of this here, this is obviously where the asparagus is and the grapevines and stuff. There's a few raspberries coming through, so what I'm going to do is come up here when I get 5 minutes, weed all this out, get all these weeds out, and I've got I'm going to continue this wood round along there, also along here, that bit there, and then I'm going to put a good mulch of chicken muck on here, and then I'm going to put some wood chip on top of that. So that'll sort of feed the plants and also mulch it so it doesn't have quite so many weeds. But obviously a lot of these weeds that are in here are perennial. So I've got some dandelions here, look, so they need to be taken right out. So when I get 2 minutes, I shall pull all those out and tidy that up. Obviously I'm going to put a piece of wood along here, just like this, along here, and then mulch all that. I'll mulch the comfrey as well. See the comfrey starting to come through there. But can you see this blackness here? That's where the frost has had it. So it started to grow, then the frost has knocked it back again. So I'm just hoping it's going to be alright. But what I might do is take all this dead growth off and put some glass on there just to keep it a little bit warmer. And obviously mulching it as well will keep it a bit warmer, stop the frost from getting at it. Now the raspberries, what I need to do with the raspberries, and this is something I've been meaning to do for a couple of months now, just haven't had the time to come up and do it with one thing and another. Been too busy welding tunnels together. But all of these dead branches need to come out. Tie all the good ones back, and basically just have a good sort out. Take all the dead ones out, and then what I'm going to do is mulch the bottom with muck all the way along to to keep them sustained through this coming year. And this is the best time of year to do it. So if you look at these branches, any obviously they've got growth coming on are obviously alive. This one here is more likely than not dead, but if you just do that, you'll find that if it is dead, it'll break off in your hand. So like this one here is obviously dead. If I do that, it'll snap off. So if you go along, you can break off all the dead ones and get them out and burn them. The espalier trees are obviously dormant at the moment, so they're doing all right. The leeks, I haven't dug any out yet because they're not really of any size. Really, I could do with them growing a bit more, but they've not done particularly well. But I was late putting them in. Plenty of chicken up to go in there. All this is obviously, this is where the potatoes were. That's all been dug over. Obviously the tunnel that was here, that's been taken down now. If you remember last year, I had 2 tunnels next to each other. There was one here and there was one here. Obviously I took that one down to make the other one, but we're still cutting the kale from here. Sorry if the wind's blowing. Still cutting some kale from here. What I'm doing is basically cutting off the tops now. So I've cut the tops off, and then you let the tops regrow, and then you can cut off these sort of younger shoots. These are the sort of dark kale, Nero kale. I've had the tops out of them really, so they're really going to seed now, so they're done. But in this tunnel here, just quickly show you, get out the wind a bit. It's blowing a bloody gale at the minute. As you can see the anemometer's going. We finished all of this kale, broccoli off here. This is the green broccoli. That's all been finished now. But this is the purple sprouting broccoli now. This is just trying to start. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just started to come through. It's still a bit early yet, obviously. This is normally out, but I'm quite hopeful we're going to have a really good crop this year because these plants grew really well. Don't know quite what happened to that one, but that's just a stick now. But I don't know if caterpillars had it or what. But you can see that the heads are starting to form on there. But it is pretty brutal up here at the minute. Right, I can only apologise about the wind. I hope you can hear me okay. So what's going to happen is, obviously you know the new tunnel that was made. If I come round here, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. So what's going to happen is this tunnel that's here, this one, that's going to move to there, just the other side of the rhubarb, where the wood chip is, and that was its original position actually. But that's going to move down there, and then the new one, which I've just built, is basically going to go this year, sort of between here and here. So the new tunnel's going to go kind of there, if you like. So it's going to cover those two where they were. Now, the only problem I've got with this is I'm going to be putting brassicas in the same place twice. I know this is goes against the grain really, because obviously you should be rotating crops. But having said that, I've got no club root or anything in any of these. So fingers crossed, I should be okay to put it in. The only thing I could do is put the largest one at the top. That one's going to go there anyway. But anyway, as you can see, the spinach has started to come through a bit this year, but it's still struggling. It's still a bit too windy. Now this one here looks like it's trying to go to seed, but we're still eating the Swedes. There is a few left, but we've eaten the majority of those. The parsnips along here, as you can see, these little sort of shoots here, those are the parsnips under the ground. We're still sort of working our way down the row of them. And these are the beetroot that are left. I think they're pretty much done now. Now the rhubarb is just starting to come up. I don't know if you can see the eyes just starting there. And there's one just there, look. That's just started to come through. Now it is a little bit early yet, the rhubarb. My rhubarb isn't a particularly early variety, but because of the weather we've been having, it is starting to come through. And this bit up here, this is normally the earliest one here. This is the oldest plant actually. As you can see, that's actually pudding rhubarb, the red one. That's a much sweeter variety. This one is, all of these ones down here are more of a green variety, sort of a lot bigger but sour at the same time. So, but anyway, so that's what the rhubarb looks like. It's only just starting to come through. But as I say, it's early doors yet. The wood chip, I don't know if you can tell, but the wood chip pile has started to go down. We've had plenty of rain, so it's kept it wet. But what I'm going to be doing is obviously shifting all of this very shortly. So I'm going to be bagging all of this up and taking it up the garden. I'm going to put some of this on the some of this on the strawberry patch to discourage the slugs and that, and I'm also going to be bagging some of it up and using that later on for paths inside the tunnels and that, so I don't get my feet muddy when I go in there to water. So that's what a lot of it's going to be used for. Obviously, as it rots over during the year, that'll help to add carbon to the soil as well. Obviously, I've dug all this up to here, but I need to get the rest of it dug over. Right, just moving around here, and I can only apologise about the wind. You can just see the water here. We've had loads of water up here. All of this was underwater a few days ago. We've had a lot of water up here, unfortunately. So this is the remainder of the beans. Also, I've just left these. So what I'll do is gather all these up now, and I'll the mice and that have had the beans from down here. Bless them. So they're welcome to them. I've got plenty in the greenhouse. So what I'll do is I'll rake all this up and burn it, and I can get this dug over. Now the beans are going to go pretty much in the same place again. You know, which you can do with beans. You can put beans in the same place again and again. But I was thinking of putting the beans up at the top, but I want to keep the potatoes up there. So what I'm going to be doing is basically the big tunnel's going to go here where this one is, and sort of there, and then this tunnel's going to go there, and then the beans are going to go up the back of the two tunnels basically. So as you can see, the kale is doing quite well. Now we did have a bit of whitefly on here, if you remember, and I'll put loads of soap on to kill them off, and as you can see it is pretty clean. There are the odd one which you can get off with your thumb, but the frost has pretty much seen most of them off. But so the kale's doing all right. So I'll be eating more of that the months coming on. So, and the chickens do enjoy that. Now I need to pull all these stalks out of here. So as soon as the council start collecting our green bin again, all of those are going to get pulled up and put in there. I'll never compost the brassica stalks. I always put them straight in the bin, and that's why I've left these down here, because I'm waiting for the green bin collection to start again, so I can sort of get rid of all of those. So this is already dug over really for the potatoes. Now what I'm going to be doing is digging this bit over here now I've got the tunnel out of the way. So I'll just basically just fork all this over. As soon as it's dry enough, I'll fork all this over and get all that nice and clean. And then what I can do is have a clean run with the rotivate all this over, and I can put the potatoes and the onions straight in then. I'm likely to put the onions, I'm still trying to work out where things are going, so in the next few weeks I'll put an episode out to show you where exactly everything's going. I want to put the tunnels down there, but I'm a little bit wary that I'm growing brassicas in the same place twice, which is concerning me a little. So what I want to do is just work out where things are going. I think I'm going to put the onions here at this top bit, and then I'm going to be putting the potatoes in this bit here, and then obviously the two tunnels down there, then everything else is going to sort of be dropped in between. So that's what the allotment looks like. Where are we today? We're the 20th of February today, so just gives you an idea of where we are. Obviously there's not a lot to show you at the minute, but things are going to dramatically change in the next couple of weeks. The strawberries, sorry, very quickly, this is actually wheat that's growing in the strawberries. That's come from the straw. So what I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, as soon as the weather allows, is I'm going to be digging all of these out, digging a load of muck into the ground, and then replanting the strawberry plants into the ground. Obviously taking off all of these old leaves and that. I've also got some other strawberry plants here, some spares to go in between where there's any holes. But what I'll be doing is digging all this over and refreshing the ground really for this year. Then we'll be obviously putting some wood chip on as well. So that's what everything looks like at the moment. So, I hope this episode has been some use to you. Please don't hesitate to put any comments or questions you've got below on anything that I've discussed in this episode or any of the previous ones. And I'll see you on the next episode of Jim's Allotment Garden.